For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise. And you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in on your favorite podcast app. You know, everybody tends to, just because they like something, they claim to be that. So somebody who likes to write is suddenly a writer. Somebody who likes to run is a runner. Oh, I like kids. Well, I'm suited to be a parent. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, not the case. And so today, I'm going to tell you why not everybody is cut out to be a pet parent. Because there's some real idiots out there. Idiot cat and dog owners out there, if I'm going to be specific. And we're going to talk about that this week on The Scribble. It's 30 minutes of time-wasting fun and maybe a bit of education, maybe a bit of a pet parent smackdown starting right after this.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secret to losing 3 to 5 pounds a week without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt RX. For the last 2 decades, we've helped countless people lose thousands of pounds. And now, it's your turn. Learn how to lose weight with one simple phone call and no prescription needed. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a risk-free money-back guarantee. So, if you're ready to start losing weight, call right now and get a free month supply with your first order of Body Sculpt RX. Call now. You have nothing to lose but the pounds. 800-459-6838. 800-459-6838. 800-459-6838. That's 800-459-6838.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on The Scribble. Jeremy Bradley, by the way, a lifetime dog lover and, well, dog owner, I guess, too. So we've had some issues in our neighborhood. My God, there's something about... Are people just idiots and assholes now? Is that what it is? Because I can't blame the dogs necessarily, right? You have to sometimes on the owners. You always say that when kids act up, you look at the parents and go, it was the parenting. Yeah, it might be something to do with the parents. And so... And let me just say, too, right off the bat, that I'm not one of those people who is my dogs are the smartest, my dogs are the best behaved, my dogs know the basics. They know like to sit, not beg for food, shake a paw, don't hump your legs and things like they've never really done that, but they're decent dogs. We can go to somebody's, backyard or house or whatever, and they're not, grabbing pillows off the couch or off the bed and tearing them up and chewing shoes. And so that's never happened. So if somebody goes and says like, oh, well, your dog, he's stupid. But I don't take personal offense to that. I always laugh at people. I had a friend one time, she took it very personally when I made fun. She had one of those little like rat dogs that looked kind of like a mop. And I would make jokes about that. And she was just so personally offended. And I was like, well, you didn't make that dog, so why, and why is that like a personal dig at you? It's one thing to go and say that your kid is ugly because that kid, came from you or whatever it is, but I'm just like, your dog's one of those little mop dogs, like, whatever. So in our neighborhood, we don't live in a rundown neighborhood because we've got money. I've just found over the recent weeks or months that I don't know if it's that people just don't care, they don't know how to. Not everybody is cut out to be a dog owner, let me just say that. And we've had some instances in our neighborhood. Now, remember, though, I've had 2 sets of dogs, right? I had, there are 2 older dogs that have passed away, Ernie and Basil, a golden retriever and a lab cross. And then my new ones are Bruno and Charlie, a golden retriever and a husky. And they're both under, the husky is 2.5 now. He was born in February. So yeah, about 2.5. And then the golden retriever will be 2, or he just turned 2, actually. That's right. So, they're very, they're energetic, they're lively, but at the same time, I'm always in control of them because I made that very clear from the beginning, is that I'm in charge in my house. And especially too, because, I got them, or we got them, my husband and I got them during the shutdowns. And at that time I was taping our radio shows, our syndicated radio shows from my house. I have a studio. I'm not one of those people who just has like the little foam things and, I'm recording in my parents' basement. I legit have had a radio studio in my house for many years because I produced radio. And sometimes I would do it in the studio at the office, and a lot of times I just didn't feel like going in, so I would host the show from home. And anyway, so any dogs in my house know very quickly that it's time to lay down if I'm doing they just have figured it out. They have to catch on very quickly because obviously if you're doing radio, you can't have barking and panting and, running around when you're doing radio. That just doesn't work. And so at the very beginning, yes, we had some ups and downs. I even did some pretend interviews at home just so that they could kind of get a sense of it rather than me having, Judge Judy on the phone and then you hear, rustling in the background of dog jingling chains of the collar. So, I'm very, what's they're militaristic, I guess is the word, as my husband would say. And, but at the same time, they're well behaved. So they're not, going into people's yards. They're not, when we walk, we're walking. They're not sniffing at everything. They're not peeing on everything. It is a power walk, and that's just how it is. They are right beside me. The golden retriever is to the right. The husky is to the left. And I'm in charge of the walk. And if they start to look to the side, sometimes if there's, birds or somebody in their yard or a squirrel or something, I say focus, and their eyes are back to the sidewalk where we're walking, just because, again, and it's also sort of an image thing. Like, I don't want to look like an idiot that I don't have control of these two big dogs. Like, I wouldn't walk them then if that were the case. I'd be so embarrassed. I'd go at night. When it's pitch black at night is when I would walk my dogs if that were the case. So nobody can see us. I'm not, and so that's where I always laugh at the people who have the little dog. I call them little rat dogs because they're the most yappy, big, tough guys. And they're generally for some reason, it's always those dogs that are on the 20-foot leash that the owner is walking the sidewalk, and it's always little dogs that are running through people's yards, running to the boulevard, going to this tree. No fucking way is that happening with my walk. I'm sorry. I'm in charge. You are not 10 feet ahead of me, that I'm following you. And I also, by the way, too, my dogs don't pee or poop on our walks. First of all, I'm not carrying around a bag of shit. That is not happening. And it's not even that I'm being a diva or a princess. No, they know that it is outside to poop time, is what I say to them before we leave. They run to the backyard and they push one out even if they can't. Even if they don't have to go, they force one out before we go for the walk. So there's no bathroom breaks when we go. We go for a good, I would say, between 55 minutes and an hour and 10, 15, depending on the weather. And it's a power walk. I've got my music on or podcasts, whatever it is, and we go. So I'm always surprised, though, when you have these people, like if you know that your dog is an idiot when other dogs are coming towards you. And like I said, because I've got two big dogs and you've got the little rat dog on the 20-foot leash, like I would kind of think that it's sort of on you to keep your dog under control. Like, I don't want to look like the idiot. And maybe there's this hierarchy where you're just kind of like, well, I have the right of way on this sidewalk. Well, I do kind of feel that way. If I'm already halfway down the block and you've just turned onto the street and on the sidewalk, we were here first, and your dog is nuts, you walk off to the side. You go to the boulevard, you cross the street, you go there. But I've never understood, and it's happened many, many times, where like the person is walking towards us, their dog is already going nuts, and they're still, let's say 5 houses away, and their dog is going, and I just see like, we're gonna have a problem. So are we playing chicken now? Is it who's gonna give first? Like, yo, we're walking just fine. You're the one having to reel in your, the dog that's on the fishing line or on like that's on you. So what happened the other day was something very similar, where the woman knew that her dog, we were actually walking behind, so we weren't coming towards her, but she was just not walking fast enough, and we ended up catching up to her. And again, the dog is on like the crazy, 100-foot leash, and so she moves over to the side, which I appreciated. That's fine, great. But at the same time, you didn't retract the leash, though, at all. So your dog is still going to... So she kind of has the dog beside her. She kind of like, calms him down for a second. And then as we're passing, the dog comes up running up behind. Now, again, it's little rat dog, little yappy tough guy. and kind of nips at like one of my dog's tails. And so and this is sort of an older woman. She was at least, in her 60s, maybe a little bit more. And so I turned around, I stopped walking. My dogs sit because that's what they do. And I just said, "What the fuck? You want to fucking try that again?" And I looked at her and I said, "Yeah, you fucking bitch." And so here I am, and you have to remember too that I'm also like in the newspaper of my hometown as well. So I kind of have to control myself to a point. But I was F-bombing. Because again, and it's not that, there was no bloodshed, there was not anything, but it's like your dog just attacked mine. Like that's a problem right there. So not only were you nodding, so then I just said, I'm like, "What the fuck?" And she didn't do anything really to kind of pull the dog back. And I'm just like, why am I confronting this dog? This little rat dog that I could have punted across the street. Let me just say, that's how small this thing was. And so the dog is still kind of like barking and approaching mine. And again, mine are chill, just kind of sitting. And so I have this prepared sort of thing that I do, because you'd be surprised how often shit like that happens, where you'll just be walking down the street and all of a sudden a dog will come like barreling from a yard, or somebody will be doing yard work in the front and their dog is just laying on the grass or something. And it's like, excuse me, first of all, that's fine that you have your dog on your property, but at the same time, like, you can't have it now bolting onto the public sidewalk and chasing after me and coming at my dogs. That's the problem. And so what I do now is when it happens, I say, "Okay, you guys ready? Ready to kill? You kill in 5, 4, 3. And I swear, I actually do that. And it has people get their dogs right away. And so when I did that to this woman, she goes and says like, "Oh my God, I'm going to press charges. If that had anything." Okay, good. So you press charges and you let them know that you weren't in control of your animal in a public space. So let's start your complaint with that, because they're going to ask you what happened. And you're going to go and say, "Oh, well, this guy threatened my dog." But okay, well, what happened? "Well, my dog bit at his and blah." Okay, all right. So there we go. So I just had no patience that day. I was not having it. And yeah, did I call her a name, or did I say yes, I did. But at the same time, my safety, my dog's safety, were at risk. They were jeopardized. I don't know if your dog has rabies. I don't know if, what the hell's going to happen. And we're on a public sidewalk. So if you can't retract that leash when you see people are coming, and it's not just that she moved off to the side. Like I said, I was appreciative of that. I'm giving her credit for doing that. But that meant nothing then. That meant nothing when you've still got 15 feet that this dog is now going to, again, like I said, if you know that your dog is going to go nuts when others are coming either behind you, beside you, whatever, that's on you to do it. Don't make us. Like, I'm just walking down the sidewalk fine. We're walking just fine. We're not doing anything wrong. We're not, So tell me what you think about that. All of these situations that I just said. If you've got the right of way because you were on the sidewalk first, do you both move off to the side? If your dog is nuts, do you just automatically do that as a courtesy? What's the protocol? What's the etiquette? Send me an email, live@jbonair.com. live@jbonair.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer. Save the money, save the hassles, and get the better blue pill. Dial 800-578-0179. That's 800-578-0179. 800-578-0179.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt, your shoulder hurts, and your back. Oh my God, your back. They're constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here is something you haven't tried. Pain Absolve. Pain Absolve is not available in any drugstore. The only way to get it is by calling today. We're so confident that it will work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase, no prescription needed, and best of all, each purchase comes with a money-back guarantee. Call now to find out how you can get Pain Absolve and get rid of your pain. Call 800-319-0582. That's 800-319-0582. 800-319-0582. Call today. 800-319-0582.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
JB here, still going on my pet rants today, and so something else, and this is what I'm saying, there's just shit going down in my neighborhood that is just so bizarre, whether it's, dogs coming after us or approaching, and somebody had told me actually the other day that I should just have pepper spray, so if you do, it happened with my two previous dogs where we were walking. I only had one dog at the time. That all of a sudden this dog had, I guess, pushed open the front door. It was in a house, pushed open the front door and just comes running out to us. And thankfully, I've got a golden retriever, or he was a golden retriever, so he was, playful and whatever. But for some reason, we just had this situation where dogs would attack him. He's this big, friendly, almost like a Muppet. And he was forever getting, bullied. And I was just like, oh my God. But yeah, this dog comes running out of the house. Not even just like a open gate from a backyard, like fucking pushed his way, opened the door. And that's where I go and say, if you know that, like, lock the door or just like, I don't know. It's very weird. So a couple days ago, it was a Sunday actually, now that I think about it. It was a Sunday morning or Sunday early afternoon. Nice breeze outside, just cool. So we had the windows open. We had the front door open of our house. Like I said, decent neighborhood. We're not in, a shamble town, shanty town. That's the word. And, my dogs are forever sitting in the front door window, watching people go by and, watching the cars, traffic, whatever it is. And for some reason, my dog started to like whimper and whine. And I was kind of like, okay, somebody's coming up the sidewalk. Like, what's going on? But, why are they being like this? And then I go and I look, and there's like this bulldog, like a French bulldog, kind of with the smashed in face, like right on our front stairs, looking on the other side of the door, looking at my dogs. And I was like, is somebody here? Like, is somebody walking you? Why are you like right at my front door? And so I thought, okay, well, it was a Sunday, morning/afternoon. Traffic was a little bit crazy with people, going back and forth. So I thought, oh my God, like, okay. So I put my dogs into the kitchen and close the door. And so I bring this one into just the front doorway. And I was kind of like, okay, well, because I didn't want him to get hit by a car. I'm not completely heartless as much as I'm going on these rants today. I'm not a complete dick. And so I was like, all right, fine. So I called the city. And sure, thankfully, this thing had a tag on it that had the city phone number and like a code. So I call there, and, our city has the 311 service, basically, like all the city departments, and you press 1 for this, press 2 for that. This dog was just nuts and hyperactive. It wasn't vicious, it wasn't anything, but it was just, kind of like a small little fat dog, but he was really fast moving. And so I call, and it's like, press 1, press 2, press 3, and I thought, oh my God. Like, it wasn't an emergency, so I didn't, like, I didn't call 911, or I didn't, need the pound to come, right now. But you still kind of hope that your call's answered quickly, because it's a minor inconvenience, especially if you have your own dogs who are now trying to claw through the kitchen door to come and see. They know that you've got something in the house. And this new dog is now also trying to, get through the house and explore. And I was just like, oh my God, what is happening here? So as I'm waiting, I'm kind of talking to the dog, and I'm like, don't know who you are. If you had just a tag with the home phone number on it, right? I would just call the person directly, but you got to call 311. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm sitting, listening to all the prompts, and so the woman comes on the phone, and she's like, okay, and she's like, just so you know, the call is being recorded. I'm like, yeah, I got it. I said, just come and get the dog, like, I'm at this address, call them, let them know, the dog is here, it needs to, well, it can take up to a day if we have to come and pick up the dog. I said, just call the people, that's fine. It's got a city tag, it's got your number, match it up to whatever's in the system, call them, bring it. well, would you be able to keep the dog for a day if at minimum or maximum a day? And blah, blah. I said, no, I can't. So you got to figure this out. So either you send somebody or I open my door and this dog just goes running back out again. Like I can't, I'm not having this. I'm not. And that's such a weird request though, because think about that. If you're somebody who's, older or you don't even have dogs and they're just basically going and telling you like, yeah, you're going to have to care for the dog for a day. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So are you providing food and shit like that too? Like why? Like I realize it's not the city's dog and it's not the city's problem, but I mean, it's a city service that you've got dogs running loose. They come and get them. That's the deal. That's why I pay taxes. Now, am I expecting them to come within the next 10 minutes and pick up the dog? No, but that's what I'm paying for as a city taxpayer. So the woman's on the phone. She's asking me like my name, address. I said, yeah, absolutely. Yes, you can give them my name. You can give them my address. How else would they come and get their fucking dog, right? Or could you bring it into animal service? No, I'm not starting to run a dog Uber service here. I guess I technically could have, but we also had stuff going on in the day, and I'm not going to now go and spend 2 hours, no, not my dog, not my responsibility, send somebody here. So then at one point, she confirmed my name and address, and then she said, I'm sorry, I can't, it's very loud there, I can't hear you. And I was like, yes, because I have dogs in the kitchen going nuts, trying to scratch through the door. I've got this one that's like snorting and whimpering and whining and trying to get into my house. So I'm sorry that you can't hear me while I'm trying to do the city a favor, and the pet owners a favor. So then she's repeating. She's like, well, is it okay if I give them? Yes, you've already asked. Yes, I told you that. Okay. So let me try and reach them and see. And then, so I'm like, okay, fine, I'm on hold. Then she comes back and she's like, I have him on the phone. Is it okay if I give him your address? I was ready to just fucking hang it. I was, lady, you have already confirmed this 3 times. I am not like, yes, at the end of the day, I want them to come and get their dog. Why would you not be allowed to give them my address? Like that, and then that was also the basis of me giving you my address in the first place, was to know where the dog is at. So like, whatever. Anyway, so then the guy comes on the phone, and now we're on a conference call basically with the guy. She patches him in, and I said, yeah, I've got your dog at such and such address. Come and get him now. Okay, yeah, my wife is actually just kind of around there. And I said, and your dog, because I had some time to think about this, there was a guy a few days earlier that had come running up almost to like my front door. And I saw this. I happened to be walking past the living room window. And I got nervous. I thought, oh my God, what is going on? Like, there's somebody running up my property. What is happening? And then when I went and looked again, he was chasing a dog down the street. Now, I didn't see the dog very clearly at the time, but it was kind of a whitish dog. And that's the dog that I had in my house. So then I said on the conference call with the city as well, I just said, like, didn't this happen the other day too? I found out, were you the one who ran up on my property chasing the dog? And he said no. And I said, didn't happen like Thursday, Friday? Oh yeah, Thursday. And so then I just kind of paused and I said to the phone operator from the city, I said, good, so you're going to add this to the file. This is the second time that this dog has run up on my property, just so we're clear that, the dog is running through the neighborhood. And so she's like, yes, I've got that. And then he almost started to kind of take a tone. I thought, buddy, wait a second here. Wait. First of all, you're the one who's now actually breaking the city bylaw by having a dog running wild. And then you're going to try to get testy with me on the phone. Like, I'm in possession of your dog here. So you probably, then I almost started thinking, maybe I shouldn't give them my address. Maybe I should just go and say, you know what? I'm going to tie him to the hydrant that it's at the end of the street. You go there in 10 minutes and get him. No, I'm not that much of an asshole, but I was like, here we are now having conflict. Like, just come and get your fucking dog. That's all it is. So I get off the call. That's fine. And I'm standing now kind of at the front door, and I'm waiting. Apparently the wife was, just nearby. And so then I see a woman walk right by my house, holding a dog leash, but walks right by. And I thought, what is happening here? Like, why? How do you not know? Like, it was... And then I'm seeing her, she walks probably about 2 more houses and then turns around. And then as she's coming up the sidewalk, she says, through the window, oh, I passed you. And I thought, we're dealing with idiots here. We are dealing with fucking idiots. Now, can somebody give me a swear count? I'm just going to look over across through me. Because I'm just in a mood like these, it just rattles me. Like, our neighborhood years ago used to be old people. It was quiet. It was just, and now you've got all these idiots. Like, not everybody, as I said earlier, not everybody is suited to be a pet owner, a dog owner. So she comes up, I open the door, she goes, she leashes him up, and then I'm getting the life story Oh, he just any sort of opening, he just gets out and he runs. The kids open the gate so first of all, you're making excuses. You're making excuses. Because if you were able to wrangle 2 kids, she said kids plural, so you've got at least 2 kids, and this is a younger woman, she's not super old, then don't have a dog. Then take precautions. If you go and say, okay, well, if you're opening the door, somebody make sure the dog is in another room or behind another door so that, you do things like that. I, many years ago, had a situation where people would, cut through my yard or, my gate would be open in the morning. So I learned very quickly, okay, before my dogs go out, we look out the back window to make sure the back gate is closed. And then I slowly open the side door and look to make sure that our front gate is closed before the dogs go running out. That is just what we do every single time. Every single time they're about to go out. We make sure that the gates are locked. And when I say locked, we actually do have locked gates now. And so that's the deal. They're both closed. Now the dogs go outside. That is a responsible pet owner because you have that one situation where your dog gets out and you learn. You learn from it. So you make sure, because that's the safety of your animal. That's the safety and it's for your own well-being as well. You don't want to go through that heartache of having your dog lost and found smushed on a road somewhere. Right? I mean, that's what you do if you're a considerate neighbor, if you're, and so she's sort of saying things like that. And I was just like, then you've got kids. Somebody can hold this dog. We're not talking about 100 and some pound dog that's going to be dragging the kids down the. No, somebody goes and says, "Okay, I've got him. Go open the door. You can go." Okay, really. And so she's going on, and I'm thinking here, I'm not having a conversation. And then she's like, "Oh, you've got dogs, hey?" And I thought, yeah, just take your fucking dog and go. We're not friends. First of all, I don't know why. No, take your dog and go. I don't need the life story. I don't need the excuses. You're not making excuses. You're not blaming the dog. This was on you. You're not in control of your animal. Your kids aren't in control of your animal. Your husband's not in control of your animal. Get your household together. Get your shit together. Because, yeah. Oh, well, he's only a year. He's a short little fat bulldog. Yeah, I will admit that he is fast because he did kind of get away in my house. But I was able to wrangle him and get him blocked in an area. And I'm in control. I'm in control saying, no, sit down, stop it. And he was listening to me. He doesn't even know me, but he was listening to me because I took that tone. So, yeah, I don't know. So, tell me your thoughts. Have you ever just had some random, would you take the dog? Would you bring in the dog? Would you, or just go and say, it's not my problem. It's not. And we've had it too where we've been out walking and then we'll see across the street, there's a dog just running down the sidewalk or even trailing behind us. And first of all, again, my hands are almost literally tied when I've got two hands full with 2 dog leashes. I can't all of a sudden start going, I don't have a third leash on me. I don't know we're just trying to get away from you is what we're doing. Sorry, I'm not going to do that while I'm out walking. So I did feel a bit of an obligation when, you come up running to my front door and, it's busy traffic kind of a time. So, but certainly, if I'm out walking with my dogs and there's another one running down the other side or down the street or something, I don't want to look because I don't want to see it get hit by a car, but there's nothing I can do. There's not much I can do in that moment. So send me an email live@jbonair.com. Would you be the animal rescuer? Have you had that? Is it? And don't even get me started on the cats in the neighborhood. There was on a lamppost, a couple lampposts, somebody had posted signs that just say something like, watch your cats, there are traps out now or something, because same sort of deal. I don't know if it was even the same day when the dog came running up, but I remember seeing a cat running across the street and I could just tell that there was something in its mouth and it had either a squirrel or a baby rabbit, and this cat just running down, and I thought, oh, here we go. Again, it used to be a nice quiet neighborhood with old people, and now they've either all died or moved into homes or something, and times they are changing. I just have some respect for your community. That's what it is. It's not all about you that your dog gets the run of the sidewalk in the neighborhood. It's not. We all have to live together. So, and at the same time, like I said, you look like the idiot if you're not in control of your own pet. It makes you look stupid. I don't feel stupid that my dog isn't the one going nuts and barking and trying to attack something that's 40 times its size. Not my problem. Not me. Send me an email live@jbonair.com.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter @The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Alrighty. Well, we're out of time. They're counting me down that we have, I've got less than 30 seconds. So again, always love hearing from you. Share your thoughts on my rambling discussion topics. The email address, one more time, is live@jbonair.com. Live@jbonair.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to subscribe. Hit subscribe if you like what you heard. I'm making fun of the people. I always hate that. I hate watching a YouTube video because just show me the video. Show me the video. Don't do this whole tell us what you think. Tell us what you... Yeah, no, not doing that. All right, I will talk to you same time, same place next week. Bye-bye for now, everybody.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some